What's up, guys? This is Kaz, the Elevateyourcraft, and welcome to, I guess this is a vlog. I don't really know. I'm just going to kind of talk, but about something a little bit different. I want to get into some diet stuff. Usually I have a topic, a vlog topic that I briefly discuss, somewhat prepared. A lot of it I improvise just based off of what I know and concepts that I sort of just write down quickly. But this time I'm going a lot off the cuff here, and it's been stuff that's on my mind lately, and I haven't really talked much at all about my dietary approach to things and how it's affected me and what I do. But I want to start to because it's an important factor. And it's been almost 2 years now that I've followed a ketogenic lifestyle. I absolutely love it. I've done a lot of different things as far as diet goes over the years, which I'll get into a little bit later. But I think back now, it's probably 10 years that I've been seriously working out as far as progressive calisthenics and I guess working towards certain goals, not necessarily superficial goals, looking big for the women and whatever, or for just, like I said, superficial reasons. It's been very serious and looking to just improve my athleticism, my performance, my overall body composition. And hey, the bonus of looking good, certainly not going to complain. However, I've been looking back at all the things I've done and what I put myself through, and some of it is absolutely cringeworthy with I beat myself up, essentially. I'd work out 5-6 days a week for a lot of it, and I didn't really know exactly what was driving me until fairly recently. I really liked doing it, and Elevate Your Craft is something that I guess I was sort of building up to, and it's been around now for a few years almost. So I don't regret anything I've done, because it's brought me here, and I'm very happy to be here. But the first of the three sort of topics or concepts that I want to talk about is figure out what's driving you. Whether you're in the starting things or in the midst of them or just kind of coasting, find out what is driving you. And I didn't really understand until recently when I look back what was driving me, and a lot of it had to do with a dietary approach. And that's why I thought it's a really opportune time to discuss that kind of thing, because there's quite a stark contrast between where I am now and where I was, say, 5-6 years ago. And one of the things that I feel played a huge role was I wanted to be just really lean and ripped. Never really throughout this whole process did I ever want to be huge, like really buff, sort of bodybuilder-ish. I never had that desire, and I still don't. I really enjoy functional fitness, which is why I love progressive calisthenics. I really enjoy yoga. So it wasn't necessarily getting big. Like for me, I want to be able to touch my toes. I want to be able to turn when I'm going reverse in a car, although now they have reverse cameras, but I want to be able to turn when going in reverse and not throwing out my back. I want to bend over and tie my shoes. Like nothing was the worst for me before I was at gyms a lot, and you kind of see these people that I see a guy who really wasn't able to bend over to tie his shoe. And so things like that really got to me. It's like, man, I don't want to be in that position, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. But the main thing was I wanted to be ripped. I wanted to have abs, and I wanted to see the striations and the muscles, and I wanted, all that kind of stuff. But I was really going about it the wrong way, and I didn't understand it at the time. And that kind of leads me into the calorie thing. At the time, calories were a be-all, end-all for me. It was a very black-white approach. It was, okay, well, I ate this much, so now I need to work out this much in order to burn those calories. Then I'll be at a deficit, and I'm good. And, still pretty young at the time, and going out and socializing and eating things that aren't necessarily the best. But then in my mind, I'd be like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm just going to work out tomorrow and I'll burn all those calories. Which really, I don't know, it got me into the gym, and I did a lot of things that I don't want to say weren't necessary, but I put myself through a lot that I don't really necessarily think I had to. I was thinking more of the physical side of things, the exercise, all that had more of a role than the actual diet of what I was eating. So now calories are not even a consideration for me. In almost 2 years, in August, it'll be 2 years that I'm living a ketogenic lifestyle. I have not thought about calories once. Never has it crossed my mind with whatever I'm eating. The main thing, of course, is it's a high fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate diet. That's all I really worried about. How am I feeling? Am I getting enough fat? Am I getting enough protein? Am I getting enough salt and other electrolytes, potassium, magnesium? But calories have not been a consideration whatsoever. And I mean, now I'm the leanest I've ever been. I'm single digit body fat, and I've kind of achieved, this is going back I'd say probably 3 to 4 months into doing the ketogenic lifestyle, I achieved what I want to achieve. So it's been a while now, but calories are not the be all end all anymore. I don't even think about them. And going back to the previous years, they were everything. I mean, I could dig up food journals and logs that were kept meticulously and at different calorie levels, slightly different macro levels, whether it was protein or carbohydrates, which were the main focus. There was, of course, the fat as well, but I never achieved what I want to achieve. And it was so frustrating because you put in all this work, not only at the gym or wherever you're exercising, but then also maintaining these food journals and calorie levels and macro levels. And you're thinking, what is going on? Why isn't this working? And that was the worst part. It was very, very frustrating. And on top of that, which leads me into my third point, I've tried everything as far as diet. I mean, I've done the standard American diet. I've done a low-ish carb, paleo type diet, vegetarian, vegan, and which is what I did prior to the ketogenic lifestyle, which is a huge change. I mean, I went from eating 0 animal products to now probably 95% animal products. So it was a very drastic change, but that change told me a lot about what was driving me. And that's what I want to get across in this rant, it may seem like, but figure out what is driving you. And for me, it was like, wow, I put myself through so much, I think, unnecessary pain and injuries and all that kind of stuff. And I don't regret it because I'm here. And I learned so much going through all those various dietary approaches. And the food journals were great too. I have nothing against food journals. I encourage people to keep them, especially if maintaining this or workout routines, that kind of thing is new to you. Food journals are awesome. I really encourage them, but they're a lot of work too. So I gained a lot of experience and went through a lot of trial and error with all the different dietary approaches. But again, figure out what's driving you. Ask yourself, what is the result I want? And then why do I want that result? It's the why that's very important. You may want to be ripped and single digit body fat and strong and have muscles, but why do you want those things? Well, I want to look good for, let's say, the opposite sex. Okay, well, why do you want to look good for the opposite sex? Well, I want to be accepted or whatever. You can go back usually 3, 4, 5 different layers until you really peel back to the main and I guess the ultimate reason that you're doing something. So I really encourage you to do that. And secondly, figure out what works for your body, what works for you. I mean, calories are not the be all end all. And at least they weren't for me. And I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that would contest that, which is fine. But I know for me, I went through it all. I tracked my calories, the macros, all that kind of stuff, and it just did not work for me. But then also with the different dietary approaches and things that I did, try different approaches. Use trial and error. Figure out what makes you feel good. A ketogenic lifestyle might not be the best option for you. It might be maybe a lowish carb approach, or it might be a vegetarian or a vegan diet, or whatever it is. But I encourage you to actually do the work and figure that out, because now I am sitting pretty. I know what works for me. This is what works for me, what I've been doing for almost 2 years now. The high fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate diet. So I know, because not only just how I feel and what I'm doing and my progress and my performance, but also I have all these frames of references that I've built up over the years to compare them to. So those are the main things. It's just figure out what's driving you. Why are you really doing what you're doing? Because on an emotional level, when you figure those things out, it'll give you clarity, and you'll really understand why you're doing these things. Why you're working out 7 days a week, why you're working, or why you're not working out, and what you're putting yourself through. And then you can understand, okay, is this what I want? If not, you can guide yourself in the right direction. Or if it is, keep going. I have the benefit of retrospect right now. I'm sure 10 years from now, I'll look back and I'll think, oh, geez, why did I do that? Or who knows where I'll be? I don't know. But that's what the benefit of retrospect gives you. But being where I am now, I'm 32. I've been working out seriously for almost 10 years. Say if you're 22, hopefully what I'm saying can help you. And then you can avoid some of the mistakes, not necessarily mistakes, but pitfalls or annoyances that I hope I can help you avoid. And then, again, I want to say calories are not the be-all, end-all. Learn about different dietary approaches. For me, it was a ketogenic lifestyle, again, but calorie counting was not working for me. So if you're going through something similar where you're thinking, geez, no matter what I'm doing, the calories, all this is just not working, maybe some work needs to be done. And then with the various dietary approaches, be open. Do trial and error, try different things. Really pay attention to how food makes you feel. A lot of the time we do something for so long that we kind of get used to how things feel. So we don't really know how, if we made a dietary intervention or change, how we'd feel. So you kind of lose that perspective. So it's valuable to gain that insight and frame of reference. So down the line, you can kind of do what I did and look back and use retrospect to really gain the wisdom and that kind of thing. So that's my rant. I think I'm done for now. But lately I've been thinking, I just want to say these things. Haven't really talked much about the ketogenic lifestyle as pertaining to me. I've always kept it on the down low, just did my thing. Did more of just the educational approach with calisthenics and jump rope. But now I do want to start talking about it more. I hope to engage with people that are either for it or against it, or are neutral, or are just looking to learn a little more about it. So I hope this was useful. Even if you find one fragment of useful information, I think it is worth it. And my cat agrees. Abby, thank you. But again, that's it for me. Feel free to hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, really anywhere. I'm happy to engage in conversation and happy to hear any feedback, anything like that. But I think that's all. That's all I got for now. So I'll catch you guys again very soon. Have a great day.